1,000 five-star reviews on Google, and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic.
The traffic volume's still fairly light out there this morning. Watch for a slowdown, though. We have a stalled-out vehicle eastbound on Kellogg, and it's between Hillside and Oliver. Traffic update from 98.7 and 1330 KNSS in the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center. I'm Jed Chambers.
Weather.
Watch out for areas of fog this morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy and milder. High 54, southwest wind 5 to 15. A few clouds and 32 tonight. Mostly sunny skies, turning partly cloudy on Wednesday. High 57. A little bit of rain on Thursday morning, then very windy and cooler. High temperature 52. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Finally, something you can shout across the room that won't start an argument.
Alexa, tell your smart speaker to play
97.5 and 1240 KFH. Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita. KNSS HD2 Clearwater, an Odyssey sports station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. So many incredible developments around the NFL this past weekend that it's hard to even know where to start. How about in Kansas City, where the Chiefs were officially knocked out of the playoffs by the LA Chargers? Now, this was news to Chiefs star Chris Jones, who admitted in the postgame presser he didn't know they had been officially eliminated. Yes, my dude, that is true. And your dynasty is also officially dead, in case that hadn't worked its way back to you either. And making matters even worse is your Hall of Fame quarterback officially shredded his ACL late in that game. In other words, nothing good came from that day, and the future suddenly looks bleak given how busted up and old this team is. After making it to the Super Bowl last year, the Chiefs decided to simply run it back one more time, and it blew up right in their face. And now it's probably time to blow the entire thing up. Hate to be the one to break that to you, Chris, but you probably didn't know that either. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome into Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleveland with you here on a Tuesday morning. Glad to be here with you. We are having some fun today. We are reacting to what sounds like a successful surgery for Patrick Mahomes, but maybe a little more trouble than anybody anticipated. We'll get you the latest on what the team was saying yesterday, the news from last night, and what it may all look like moving forward for the Chiefs. We've also got voice of the Wildcats Wyatt Thompson stopping by in our next segment, and we have Bill Self to react to. He spoke Monday ahead of their game tonight for KU. It's all coming for you here on Sports Daily. It's all what's on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather for holiday fun. Bring the whole family and your out-of-town visitors to WBC for a taste of pizza and beer made here. East near Central and Woodlawn, west at 13th and Tyler, and in historic Delano and Handley, Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather for the holiday season. You can call us at 869-1240. You can comment with us on Facebook, YouTube, or X. You can leave voice messages on the Odyssey app. Lots of ways for you to get in touch with us today. TJ, how are you?
Good morning. The show started and I didn't hear the Hawaiian shirt music. I thought it was Wednesday and I thought that it officially died. And I was going to have a really good day if that was the truth. But sadly, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and hear that ukulele.
That's right. I don't listen. I don't know what to tell you other than you should stop being a fun hater. We'll be rocking and rolling Hawaiian Shirt Wednesday tomorrow, as normal, as you should. It'll feel a little like Hawaii tomorrow.
It's gonna be like 65 degrees on Christmas.
You damn right it will be. This is why we do this. We inspire the season. Like this is what we want here.
Big news on the golf game, by the way. Yesterday, hit the simulator up, played the old course at St. Andrews, broke 90. We're back.
Okay. On a simulator too?
Yeah. Okay. Simulators help you. You don't lose any golf balls on the simulator.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Simulators don't help me. Simulators don't like my ball flight. They pretty consistently give me weird reads on what I normally shoot in the real life, but they're fun. I like the simulator. I need to work on my swing. I haven't done anything golf related. I don't know. 2 months probably. We're getting up there. Shout out to Crestview Country Club, great sponsor of the show. They've got 2 simulators, by the way. So this time of year, and I need to do this, they've got a room with the 2 simulators with the TV set to whatever you want. A great place. You watch a game, you grab a bucket of beers, you grab some wings, you hit the simulator. It's fantastic. Now's a good time to give Crestview a call. Ask them about that and all the different things they have available for you in a membership. Best prices of the year. Thanks to them for supporting us here on Sports Daily. All right, TJ, real quick, and we'll dig into this a little deeper, but as we have just a few minutes here before we talk to Wyatt Thompson, Patrick Mahomes has his surgery last night. According to multiple reports, it was a success. According to multiple reports, it would be guessed that there was LCL issues also. So that's what we didn't want to see. But it looks like if you're into the sports doctors on Twitter, I am. I love those guys. One of them, Dr. David Chow, says that it is they did it now likely to avoid any need for a second surgery. If you do it early, it can speed up the timeline. So it's a repair, and he's trying to compare it to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons looks different. He's not having the surgery. So there's a lot out there, and we'll all, try to figure out what in the world's going on here. But man, it's almost certainly going to cost him some time into the regular season next year.
Yeah, it should. That's what you think as well. I'm confused about it. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it feels like we saw a lot of news about like it was a successful surgery. We could see him, really targeting a September return and trying to attack this thing as fast as he can. And then it turned into, well, he also tore his LCL.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't hear he tore it. They just repaired it.
That's what,
it could have. Did we hear it was a tear on his LCL?
I'm almost
maybe it
certain
was.
Rappaport said
Maybe it was. Like so the main NFL beat guys are saying the same thing. They expect 9 months or so. Chow, these sports doctors online are incredible because they'll see it, they'll read between the lines before they even had surgeries. Like the fact that they're going right now and the fact that he's talking to this doctor makes me think there's probably some LCL. But if you go all the way back to him just watching it, like you go all the way back to Sunday when it happened, he was like, boy, that looks like that's probably going to be an LCL too, based on the way his knee bent out. But it sounds like that's all a smart thing to do too. Like, yeah, he's pointing that out, but he's saying like, this is, this seems like the right way to handle it. You do all of this now, it avoids any complications later. And then, over time, it'll speed up the timeline because you're not going to like find out, oh man, there's also something here. So they were playing it safe, but 9 months is the term that keeps getting used. 9 months would obviously be like week 2 of the regular season. So That's not bad news. That's probably good news. And I just want to you have to historically look at Mahomes and his ability to stay healthy, recover, do all these things. I still think, and I said this when it happened, I will not be surprised if Mahomes does not miss any games next year. He's not going to play in the summer or preseason or training camp or anything else. But I haven't, I guess, been thinking about this. Like, he's going to miss 6 games. I hope that's not the case, but at least we get some good news on Monday.
Yeah, it feels like it is good news. Rappaport did say it is a torn LCL, so that happened as well from Ian Rappaport. But he's saying 9 months as well. So yeah, I mean, if that's the case, you're thinking about it. He's probably honestly targeting week 1. Like, that's the way that they'll probably attack this. I mean, that tells you something that he has surgery the next day and does all this stuff, and I'm sure that means that it's going to be an aggressive rehab to try to do that, and then if that's the truth, the storylines turn into what does Patrick Mahomes look like coming off of a torn ACL? It's better than not Patrick Mahomes, I'm sure. So we'll wait and see. Nobody knows that answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly and listen too. Like, don't take anything for granted. Carson Wentz has never looked the same.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Sam Bradford probably. Like, there are guys who haven't. There are lots of guys who have come back from this great. There are some guys who it's taken more time. There are some guys that haven't come back from it well at all. It's funny. I saw this yesterday, and I can't believe we haven't mentioned this. It was the same season after the same number of Super Bowls and all of those things that Tom Brady had the only season he didn't make the playoffs. Now, the circumstances of not making the playoffs are certainly different, but it was the ACL injury. It's like these two careers are just wildly mirrored and always have been.
That's what I was
Chiefs
joking
fans,
about.
you hope they always will be, right?
That's what I was joking about yesterday. Is I can't wait in 30 years to be defending the Chiefs dynasty to the young heads and say something along the lines of, "Well, they didn't make the playoffs in his 9th year." It's like, yeah, he tore his ACL. What
a silly thing to have define a stretch of good football like that, like to not make it in a singular year. I thought we defined this thing by Super Bowls, right? Like, I thought that was the only thing that defined, and I still think that, by the way. But to get into the semantics of it, it's all about the Super Bowls that you win over a period of time.
Then we're talking Jordan LeBron. Is losing in the Super Bowl a bigger deal than losing and not making the playoffs?
Is making the Super Bowl a bigger deal than not making the Super Bowl? Right? I mean, I would say making the Super Bowl is better than not making the Super Bowl. But people say, well, they lost the Super Bowl. I'm like, well, the other guy didn't get to the Super Bowl.
There you go. Jacob thinks LeBron is better than Jordan, everybody.
That's we'll save that for a summer topic when we need to fill some time. Wyatt Thompson joins us next. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story, Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And welcome back in here. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up this morning. That insider, Wyatt Thompson, voice of the Wildcats. Wyatt, good morning. How are you?
I'm really, really well. Good morning to you guys. Everything good?
Everything's good. We're just excited that we're getting a little warmer weather here this week. Looks like Christmas will be, get out in the backyard and sling the football around kind of weather. We're seeing staffing changes. Speaking of football, Wyatt, we're seeing some of the coaching staff come together. We've seen new guys come in. We've seen some guys retained. How do you evaluate and how do you think it's going right now for Colin Klein in this fever pitch? We haven't had a lot of player news, but the coaching news has been coming in.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the biggest focus, right? You want to get that in place. Not that he hasn't dealt with some of the players, if not most of them. He was here last week, Wednesday through, I believe, pretty late on Friday before heading back. And I know that he had, one-on-ones with all of the coaches and many of the players. And I think it's been good. I didn't really try to allow myself to think about, well, how many is he going to keep on the staff or how many will be let go? I kind of just wanted to see how that would play and not have a thought, either way. It's hard to do that. I'm not going to kid you. I've become friends with so many of those guys, as you might surmise, and it's difficult when you think about. I mean, I talked to Joe Klanderman, and as one example, right after Colin was announced, and he talked about I've been with Chris a long time. I would like to stay, but if I'm forced to go do something else, it's going to be okay. And that turned out really, really well for Joe. He's now at Baylor. We see on the other hand a Buddy Wyatt who was retained and will coach the defensive line. So yeah, Colin's been really busy. There's no doubt about that. I think we knew that was going to be the case, but I don't think I've changed much in terms of my excitement level though moving forward, because I think with what he's doing to this particular point, and I think what lies ahead will be exciting for all of us. And as you know, it won't be long. We'll be at the first of the year, and shortly after that, they'll be starting spring football. So it's a cycle, and here we go.
It's true. Wyatt, as they keep going through all this stuff, we've talked about how busy he's going to be through all this stuff. I mean, it's people made a big deal about the Lane Kiffin situation of the playoff in a new job, or the John Summerall situation of playoff in a new job. Those guys are head coaches, and I'm sure that takes on a lot more stuff. But Colin Klein is a head coach trying to figure out everything at K-State right now, while also being the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M. That's coming up soon. What did that look like? He said he was in Manhattan last week. Is he going back and forth? What's it look like right now?
Well, it's my understanding that he's going to continue to do that. I would tell you that after leaving here last Friday, he'll be there through that first playoff game upcoming. Then I think a decision will be made of what fits. Of course, winning and losing matters there. I think they've all along had an agreement that he would be able to coach all the way through for Texas A&M, whatever that means, whether it's a game or all the way through to potentially a national championship type situation. But I said this maybe to you guys a week ago, but I know he's a first-time head coach, and I understand that. But in visiting with him when he was here, I think he has a pretty good vision on what he wants to see the program look like, the kind of people that he would like to surround himself with. And I would guess, this is just a guess on my part, but you're probably not going to go get everybody on the staff that's your first choice. So you have to have some options there. It's kind of like recruiting, to go get one good quarterback, you probably need 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 on the table, right? So yeah, he's trying to balance all of that. It's not easy, but I'm pretty stoked that I think he's going to do just fine with all of this.
Do we have any indication, Wyatt, what the offense, have you heard any names? What styles should we expect? Obviously, that's Klein's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Right. There's no indication he's going to try to handle being a head coach and an offensive coordinator, right? He's got to bring somebody in, but I'm just curious, like how that particular spot goes, because we're all waiting on a decision from Avery Johnson.
Right.
Avery Johnson needs to take the best opportunity for his own development. They need makers in that offense. Like, to me, all the attention's on this offense. He's an offensive guy, but what kind of help is he looking to bring in?
Well, I think if I'm going to be perfectly blunt and honest here, I think there's a lot on the table here, and maybe not all decisions have been made. We know, that Colin Klein is going to be the head coach. We don't know beyond that whether, as an example, he's going to hire a quarterbacks coach who, as an example, might also be the play caller / coordinator. Or maybe they hire an offensive guy and he's in the booth. Colin has a hand in the play calling. I think all of that is a possibility at this point. You hear things, right? But I can't sit here and tell you today that I'm 100% certain on how that's going to play. But I do think Colin will have a large role in this. And what will they look like? Well, I think they'll probably look a lot like A&M is, if you've watched them at all, or if you go back to the Snyder days. I think K-State will be and he talked about this during his presser. They're going to be physical. They're going to be tough. They're going to run the ball first, but yet also have some balance. And Colin's an offensive guy. He likes to throw it around too. And I'm looking for some dynamic things there offensively. But you got to go get players to do that too. We'll see.
Wyatt, I'm wondering, we've talked about this a little bit whenever the day came of the announcement and everything like that, but you watched him play in the Snyder days, then you lived through the whole Kleiman era calling those games, and now you're here. A lot of people keep using the terms of new old school. Like he's going to try to make this look as Snyder as he can in the new realm of college football. What's your opinion on that? Is that possible to do in the new world of college football?
Oh, I think it's definitely possible. And I think you have to quantify what does that mean, right? But I think what we talked about playing, with physicality and toughness and being well prepared, being accountable on all counts, if you will, and everything you do as a player and or a coach or as a staff person in this program. I think that's the Snyder-like approach, right? That I believe that is what this will look like. And I felt like that if this ever happened, that would be the case, right? Colin is, you are what you know, right? And I think he has an immense amount of respect for Bill Snyder and what he accomplished here, how he went about it, just, nose to the grindstone. And I don't think Colin's going to be too far away from that. Are they going to do everything exactly the same? No. But I think that model is what he would like to look like. 100% true.
All right, Wyatt, let's talk a little bit of hoops here. K-State gets some time away. They got a win against Creighton, and it was a game where PJ Haggerty wasn't leading the way. I mean, I think that's a good thing. Are you concerned that Haggerty didn't lead the way, or are you happy they won in a game where he didn't look his best?
That's a great question, honestly, but I would answer it like this. I really liked PJ's first half when he was just playing and a lot of times distributing the ball. Second half, I thought he got just a little bit more, I won't say selfish, but was in the score mode in his mind.
Right.
And I don't know that they had the same ball movement, took the same kind of shots. Guys, they were cooking in that first half. They were cooking. Up 51-33, made a ton of threes. And it was harder in the second half. You knew that they would make a run, they being Creighton, of course, and they did. Unfortunately, K-State didn't shoot the ball well to start the second half. They did. You close the gap. Now the place is exploding with excitement. But K-State found a way to fight them off with that. And it wasn't with the three, right? I mean, they made a lot of threes on Saturday, but all of them except one. They were 1 for 11 in the second half. And I think to a point, they just went like, okay, if we're going to win this game, we're going to do it winning with mid-range jump shots, off the bounce stuff, and attacking the goal. And they did that. And Stan and I talked about this on the broadcast. In my mind, and I think in Stan's too, last 5-6 minutes, K-State got tough. They were better, were the better team. And I was excited could be to see them win that because it can help them moving forward. I still think there's a higher ceiling left for this group. They're getting better. David Castillo would be an interesting name to bring up at this point. He was great at the end of that game. Kamari was really good. Abdi was really good. I think Elias Rapiak is starting to figure out some things too, playing harder and tougher. So there were a lot of things there. And at the end of the day, to walk out of there with a win when they had gone, 15-2 at home a year ago and 4-0 this year, I'm taking that and getting out of cold Omaha, Nebraska, buddy.
Yeah, you talked about David Castillo. That felt like it kind of was the headline after this game. I know that there was a lot of buzz, even, coaches were tweeting about David Castillo and what he did. For him to be, a lot of people talked about, like, that is what you want a K-State basketball player to look like, like he's the kind of guy who was, in some places a 5-star out of high school, comes in, doesn't fit into the exact role maybe he expected his freshman year, and then stays and sticks with it and then kind of, blossom. That's the best game he's played at K-State, I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's not what the coaches would tell you too. Just looking at his line here, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. He scored 19 points in 23 minutes and made 7 of 11 shots. But with the game on the line, he made big buckets. And that drive off the bounce and the little flip to the goal on the dunk by Kamari was big time. He's just figuring it out. And I think all of us felt like at some point he was more than capable of doing that. And boy, it's great to see. You can just see in his body language how confident he is right now. And I'm so excited for him because I'm telling you, man, he ripped it in the weight room this summer, and he knew he had to get bigger and stronger to be able to do this, and it's working out for him just pretty darn well.
Love seeing it at the young age. So Saturday, it's South Dakota, and then K-State taking a little bit different and interesting approach to the holiday week. So they don't play during the week. They play Saturday, and then they actually do sneak one more in before the start of Big 12 play. But they is it that they're opening Big 12 play with one of their buys? Is that why they're not playing until Saturday? Or they can see their schedule's a little funky.
Yeah, it is a little bit funky, but part of that is class. Part of that is he wants to get them away for about 4 days for Christmas and all of that stuff. So they'll play this Saturday, 11 a.m. That was done on purpose to get them out. Then they'll come back like late Christmas night is my understanding. They turn right around and then play on the 28th, which is a Sunday, at home against Louisiana Monroe, ULM, and then just a handful of days there. And how about this for starting Big 12 play?
Yeah.
BYU at home on the 3rd, and then you're out basically a week going to Arizona and Arizona State. Welcome to the 12, fellas. That is rough. But you know what? You got to play them all anyway.
It's about to say it's going to be that way all year. I don't think there's a schedule relief will not come in the Big 12. Well, you guys will have it right here on KFH Saturday. It's an early tip. Wake up early with the Cats. South Dakota. South Dakota's always felt a little pesky, but it's a home game, and hopefully K-State is on its way back to the team we saw early in the year that we all had high hopes for. Wyatt, we look forward to the call.
Thanks, fellas. Great talking to you. Appreciate it.
There was Wyatt Thompson, voice of the K-State Wildcats, here with us on Sports Daily. Speaking of college basketball, TJ, Darryn Peterson and KU, as we're talking about it, sounds like Bill Self said yesterday it was his quad, and he used something to the lines of hamstring was not used one time. So now it's the leg, but it's not the hamstring, it's the cramps. I actually think that's not the worst news in the world. Bill Self seemed as open and honest about it yesterday as I've heard him. But that was kind of the description, right? Like it was his quad. It hasn't heard the staff use the term hamstring one time. But all of that being said, talked about how frustrated Darryn Peterson is and how he wants to get out there. But if that's the case, that tells me he is just going to play through it, right? Like if it's a re-aggravation of a hamstring, that's where I'm like, you got to shut him down. But if it's something different and they just can't put their finger, then at that point, I'm like, well, yeah, okay. Like he just plays 25 minutes a game and you take it for now because I don't know. And Bill Self admitted, he's like, we haven't handled it right because we don't know what to do. I mean, I don't think Darryn Peterson knows I don't think anybody knows what to do.
It's weird. There's a lot of, speculation, I guess, from people online, our favorite group of people. But even writers and journalists have put out pieces I've seen of them saying, like, just shut him down and figure it out once you get to January. And KU has, like, openly said, we don't want to do that, basically. And it's interesting of how do you handle it? I don't know. Like, if it's a completely different injury, do you think it's an isolated thing and you just keep trying? I am curious if this happens in practice. Like that's the part we don't really know.
It doesn't, but it's, because they would like every time Bill Self asked about practice, he looks good in practice. He was able to go.
I know that's what I'm saying. Is he being
sure he's good?
Is he being coy about that? I don't think he is. I think it's the truth. I think that he looks good in practice, and there's something about a game that makes it aggravate itself. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it's a is it a stamina thing? Is it a, like I'm not a doctor. I'm not even gonna try to play this game, but I don't know. I don't know how you handle this situation because I agree. I don't think that sitting him down for a month is gonna do anything.
I don't either. And I think you got to do two things. You got to trust your training staff to some degree, who can take MRIs and do all these things and tell you there's nothing wrong with his hamstring, right? Like it's not like some injury. Like they're not like, not that he's like, it's not like a structural issue. And you have to trust Darryn Peterson. Like a part of getting players like him, and he is by all accounts not some prima donna anything. Like he legitimately like is hurt for somehow. You talk to him, like, are you comfortable with this? Are the people that are, hopefully helping you navigate this and get to, this ultimate goal and be the number 1 overall pick? Like, are we all comfortable with this plan? And I would have to imagine that everybody is, or they wouldn't be doing it. I'm like watching locker room celebration videos. Like, I've never done anything like this. I'm like, is he involved in that celebration? He looks so happy. Like, he looks like he loves being there. So all of the stuff people keep, and it's, sometimes it's people that you're like that are a little more plugged in and maybe a little more aware and aren't just fanboys out there overreacting to things, which is totally okay and totally different. But like, you've got some people where you're like, really, you're going to have that take about this 18-year-old kid he's trying to go. Like, he's getting out there. It would be so easy for a kid who doesn't have to play any more basketball this year and go be the number 1 overall pick to be like, nope, I'm not doing that. Like, not worth it. Not at all. It would be understandable, but man, he doesn't have any interest in that. He loves doing it. He loves being there. He's trying to get out there every game, and they're just going to have to work through it this way. I was of the idea of like, maybe shut him down this week. I really don't know if that's going to do any good. You almost have to just say, let's get out there again and see if we can't work through it. Maybe there's a way in a game to like, to take those minutes and not play them all at once, but to play them in bursts out there. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what you do. Neither does Bill Self, by the way. And then he fully admits that now. And I'm starting to give him a lot of grace for the way he's handled it, because I legitimately think they're confused by it. I don't think they're like blowing smoke. I think they really don't know. But we can get more into that as we make our way through. But let's go back to the Mahomes diagnosis, spend a little time with, does it change anything now this offseason? That's next on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is Sports Daily on KFH.
Meet Daniel, a 3-year-old, 37-pound smart guy who's ready to be someone's best friend. Daniel came to the Kansas Humane Society with his brother after their home was condemned, and he's been winning hearts ever since. He's affectionate and playful, loves games like fetch and tug of war. Daniel enjoys road trips, walks well on a leash, already knows an impressive list of commands, including sit, stay, come, and leave it. He's fully house-trained and will let you know when it's time to go outside. He'd love to go home with his brother Clarence, but it's not required. You can visit Daniel at the Kansas Humane Society or call to place a hold. If you want to help pets like Daniel, KHS has a list of items they use every day. The full list on our website, kfhradio.com. The 12 Strays of Christmas, supported by 316 Pet Supplies and XY Bar in downtown Wichita. Welcome back in here to Sports Daily. Jake Ballbrock, TJ Cleveland here. Our thanks to Wyatt Thompson. If you missed anything with the voice of the Wildcats, you can go back and listen on the Odyssey app. All right, TJ, let's dig in a little further to the Mahomes news. We gave it to you right off the top that the surgery was a success, that there was LCL damage in there, and everybody from the reporting to some of the Twitter doctors who are really good at what they do are using kind of 9 months as a baseline. 9 months would be, September 15th, which would be week 2, right? Or week 3. I don't know what date the season starts next year. It's certainly not week 6, and there could certainly be setbacks. He could certainly beat the, prognosis in the timeline too. It's Mahomes. That's kind of what he does, is recover quickly. Does it change, though, what we've been talking about for a couple of days here on how to approach this offseason? Does it change anything to know he could only miss a game or two?
I mean, potentially. I think that there's but the thing is, I think it changes your mindset going into it, that you don't have to go all out, I guess is the word, but not even that. Like I think that you're just a little less stressed throughout the offseason because of this news. But I think that everything that you were going to do, you were going to do anyways. Like, they were never, unless in the cards was going to sign Joe Flacco or something like that, which I didn't think that they were going to do. But like all the other moves for this team, like, cap rearrangement and bringing in guys and the strategy that they would draft, I don't think that will change at all, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think the strategy of the draft changes at all. I don't think the idea that it would benefit them to get a little more run-based would change at all, because that stuff needs to happen.
They don't have a running back on the team. They have Brashard Smith is the only running back on the team for next year currently.
They could bring back Kareem Hunt if they wanted to, but again, what is Kareem Hunt going to be? He's going to be a short yardage specialist. Brashard Smith is a pass catching specialist. They still need a bell cow if they're going to do it. Pacheco, unfortunately, has never looked as explosive since his own injury and is not that guy. So, those things don't change. Their need for a pass rusher is as bigger than it ever has been, with another year of Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. Not knowing George Karlaftis isn't going to be that dude. Like, you got to take another shot at that, I think. So I agree with you. I don't think any of that changes. I keep hearing a lot of people fantasize about wide receivers, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, guys, they've spent first and second and third round picks on wide receivers for an eternity. Like, Rashee Rice will be good enough. Rashee Rice is a good player. We'll see what a healthy Worthy can do. They just drafted Jalen Royals. It's just too much at some point. The one thing I wonder about is Kelsey, right? The one thing that sort of would be the unknown in the offseason right now would be Kelsey. Yeah, he's not, an MVP candidate like he used to be at times, but he's still one of the most productive pass-catching tight ends in football. Is he ready to hang it up if he knows Mahomes is going to be back sooner? Like, that's it. But, that doesn't really involve the Chiefs. The Chiefs would welcome him back with open arms. They should, if he wants to come back.
I think that they would
tell you that he probably is ready to be done with this, but
yeah. I think nobody knows that answer except for Travis Kelce. I don't even think that Jason Kelce knows that answer. And honestly, I don't know if Travis Kelce knows that answer.
Yeah,
as it currently stands. But if you want it, like the way that I keep approaching everything with this offseason the past couple of days is like, he could come back, and I think that, he'd be better than the replacement of whoever that may be. Like, if it is Noah Gray has shown flashes. 2 years ago, he was like a top 15 tight end as the backup to Travis Kelce. Like, Noah Gray is capable of doing it. I still think Travis Kelce is probably better than Noah Gray, which sounds insane of how old he is in NFL terms of still playing tight end. But I agree. Chiefs would welcome him back with open arms. But it wouldn't. It would be a surprise if it happens. I think that that's the way to handle this situation.
It would be. So then it's like, okay, do they need any more juice? They've got to make a decision on offense, right? The timeline of Mahomes. This is what I wonder. Like, you either continue trying to be a pass-based offense, right, and it's maybe short to intermediate to set up, or you become a balanced offense. And I don't know. That's a question we don't know the answer to at all. And that'll depend on what Andy Reid wants to do. That'll depend on about a billion things, right? It'd be great if they had the money to just go bring in Breece Hall. That'd be awesome. But that's probably not in the cards because they've got to get a lot of things accomplished. I think the offensive line is fine. I think the heavy investment, if you're going to make a heavy investment, kind of all needs to come through free agents. I mean, through on the defensive side of the ball, if it's coming through free agency. Like, to me, the next evolution of the Chiefs needs to be a run-based, defensive-first Chiefs. It's almost like it, and I know we talk a lot about the Patriots, but that's who they're chasing, right? It's the inverse. You flip it upside down. The Patriots started as this run-based defense first. Tom Brady makes all the good decisions, and then it eventually evolved into a high-octane passing offense. What if you flipped that upside down, right? The Chiefs start as this high-octane passing offense, but we can also pretend like Mahomes still makes all of the incredible throws with his eyes closed. He doesn't anymore. He misses a lot of throws. He makes some poor decisions. How many deep balls did he miss on this year? Maybe the best version of Mahomes 2.0 is to use his ability to make critical plays and be Superman and do all that stuff. Maybe take some of the workload off of him. Be a run-based team. I think it's the natural progression of things, but it's going to take, an organization totally resetting itself in what we're used to seeing.
I think I'm more in terms of this offseason. I think I'm more pro running back than most people are. Like pro running back over pass rush, I guess. I would not be upset at all if they drafted Jeremiah Love. Like that would be.
It won't be.
I think
probably won't be in a position to. I wouldn't either. By the way.
What, you wouldn't be upset?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be upset. Because you get him for 5 years at that point. For
free, basically. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty pro draft a running back because I think the thing is, Jacob, on your point here, the best thing the offense can do, like they can't get much better in terms of skill guys, wide receivers, and tight end if Kelsey's still there, and quarterback. Like that is all in place. Like I don't think that you can just become a run-based team off of that. I think you can, bring you back down and level the scales a little bit more with a good running back and think about that. But like their biggest issue throughout the skid that they had in this late season has been, I don't know if you call it play calling, but more so the fact of like the scheme isn't working. Like the defense has adjusted, I think is and it's part of offensive line as well. And that goes into that a lot, but like, everybody complains about the play calling, and that's the biggest thing that I always see all the time. It's like, what is Andy thinking? Why are we calling these plays? And it's you have three of the best wide receiver. Like you have the best wide receiver core in the NFL. Like you're just not going to throw the ball. Like you have to. Like you've made your bed. That's what the Chiefs are. And running back may help change the scheme of that a little bit, but you're not going to not throw the ball. You're still going to try to score 50 points a game if you're the Chiefs, which they haven't done. And it hasn't worked the past couple of years, but that's always been
a long time since they've been that offense. And so that's what's so strange too. Like the Chiefs won the Super Bowl 2 years ago by being a defense first team. Last year, they almost won a Super Bowl by being a defense first team. This year was supposed to be the year where the offense made this comeback, right? Mm-hmm. And get the line figured out. You've got all your players back, and for a very brief moment we saw it. We're not going to the chances of Kelsey coming back are low. The chances of Mahomes being 100% right out of the gates are low. So what does that mean? Like it's time philosophically to just buy into it. 2 years ago when they went to the Super Bowl, I've said this before because I've happened to look it up. Like they ran the ball more than Chiefs teams have in this Mahomes era. They did. It wasn't very effective, but they did it. They committed to it. You could redesign if this offensive line is healthy, and by all accounts it will be. It hasn't, they've been hurt this year, but going into next year, it is. Joshua Briscoe pointed this out yesterday, and he's right. It should be a road grader offensive line. Your offensive line's built around Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith in the middle. Run the ball up the middle.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And so to your point, yeah, if there's a running back that if Jeremiah Love falls in their lap, and I don't know what guys think of him as a pro prospect. I haven't begun remotely that process yet.
He's a first rounder.
If Bijan Robinson is sitting there, then yeah, you'd be fine to take him. If Jahmyr Gibbs is sitting there and fine. But the thing we know about running backs is you don't have to do that. Like running backs, you can get in the second round. You can get in the third round. You can get really good ones that
but you can't get Jeremiah Love in the second or third round. That's the difference.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a first-round pick. Every mock draft has him in the top 15, right? Last time I looked, he was mocked to 11, which is the Chiefs pick. So a lot of people think that it's just it depends if you're pro pass rush or pro running back in the draft. And if you get one in the draft, you probably sign the other one. Is the mentality that they likely go into all this with?
Defensive end, like they're not out there. Not the kind that they need. That has to be a draft pick, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like the thing right this second.
I don't know. The thing that I to double down on my argument here, you'd like the defense to be better. We talked about that there really wasn't a ton of pass rush this year, and that probably could have helped them in some circumstances. But they still had the 5th best defense in the NFL. They allowed the 5th fewest points in the entire NFL. Like, they lost a lot of games because their offense couldn't get the one more score. Like, the offense couldn't get to 24 to win a football game.
Don't disagree with that at all.
That was what was broken, I think.
It was, but the reality is Minihue, Trent McDuffie, probably Najee Johnson, like Brian Cook. They're gonna lose. Leo Chenal's a free agent. What happens?
Oh, they're gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna have to replace a team, like 100%. It's just a matter of what do you want to invest the big things in.
And I would invest the big things on that side because we have to understand Mahomes is going to be coming off an ACL. Like, they won't do anything if they don't have a good defense next year. I don't think.
True. That's true.
And so
they haven't been able to play outscore you football since 20.
And that needs to go like that. That's what they tried to do this year, and it didn't work for a variety of reasons. But now coming off of an ACL, I think that's the evolution, the biggest evolution that has to come this offseason. And I think everybody agrees on that. All right, we'll come back. We got another hour of Sports Daily. Albrocht and Cleveland, don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
All right, everybody, welcome back into Sports Daily here on a Tuesday. Jacob Albrecht and TJ Cleveland with you for another hour here. We've talked a lot about the Patrick Mahomes situation. It is a torn ACL and a torn LCL. Already had surgery on it last night in Dallas, Texas, and all accounts are pointing to a 9-month-ish recovery period, meaning it's early next year. If you missed anything in the first hour, be sure to go back on the Odyssey app. You can listen to everything in podcast form. We also have Wyatt Thompson in, voice of the Wildcats, as they continue to manage through the Colin Klein situation, as well as basketball season nearing closer and closer to conference play. Jacob, what are we digging into next year? We're going to keep going with the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think we can finish some thoughts. I mean, it's just this is uncharted territory for Kansas City for a long time to need a reset. And, you know, really, like, it's even longer than Mahomes. You got to go way back to the last time they've needed to sort of reset organizationally. And I'm not totally sure everybody's going to be bought into that either, by the way. Like, you can make the case that it just didn't work out because of misfortune this year. That's not even a bad case to make, right? Like, Josh Simmons was the right pick. He looks good. He left the team, all those things for a variety of reasons. You lost Xavier Worthy on a crosser on the third play of the season, and he hasn't been able to come back. You didn't have Rashee Rice for 6 games. You can make the case that if Mahomes is back, that they could continue to try to do some of those same things. But the problem for me is those same things are now another year older. I'm a little more concerned about some of the things we saw from Mahomes this year, obviously before the injury. Like he's not invincible anymore. Like everything he does doesn't turn to gold. What does that mean? I still would take him over any quarterback right now. It just means, maybe things in a little bit more structure. Maybe it's just an evolution, and the great ones do it all the time. And I fully believe that he will. But, is it Mahomes throws the ball 50 times a game? Like, is that the best path forward? I would love to know what Andy Reid thinks about that.
I know. Like that's just Andy Reid's offense that we've seen for 9 years of what they want to do. And so,
and they did a lot of that with Alex Smith too.
That the question that is so interesting to me about the offensive scheme, we kind of talked about this in the last hour, is like people don't like the play calling and the scheme, and it's not as electric as it used to be. And so what does everybody do online? Let's go fire the offensive coordinator. Who calls the plays? Like,
who builds this thing up, right?
I know.
I don't know. I get it. Look, if you're going to have a whipping boy, fine. Like the offense was better with Eric Bieniemy than it has been since Eric Bieniemy. Like,
but why? Like,
I don't know.
Tyreek Hill was there.
I have no idea. I don't know. I know that yes, Tyreek Hill is underrated, by the way. Tyreek Hill is like a Hall of Fame caliber, game-changing player that it didn't matter if Mahomes made a perfect throw. Hill just went and found the ball, right? Like we take that for granted sometimes. But what's crazy is right after he left, they won a Super Bowl and had another offense, a different looking offense. And that's the thing. Like the Tyreek Hill offenses were different than the post Tyreek Hill offenses that still put up mega numbers and won a Super Bowl. So there can be evolutions of this thing. And the Mahomes injury it feels to me like it is drop the curtain on that version. And what does the next version look like? And how quickly can they get back to it here? We still have to see a player who's never had an injury like this. It would benefit Mahomes for the first, 5 or 6 weeks of the season that's the thing. Like he's recovered from his knee surgery. You think he's just going to hop right back out there? I mean, he could, but what does that look like? It'd be nice if he only had to throw it 30, 35 times a game for a little while versus 50.
That's another part to think about of all this stuff that we haven't really talked about, is that no quarterback has ever come back from an ACL and probably will have to throw the ball as much as Patrick Mahomes has if the current state of the Chiefs stays the same. Like, is that possible to do? Does that link? I mean, I imagine that makes your rehab longer to try to, stomach the workload that he takes on for the Kansas. Like, people make jokes all the time about like they're gonna kill him out there. Like, if you have a torn ACL, I'm not sure what's obtainable.
Well, he's gonna have to get it back. Like he won't run as much. I heard. Rich Eisen, I think it was yesterday, who's kind of with me, by the way. I felt a little better because I've been, like, don't stick a fork into him until they're totally dead. And he had a take that went a little bit viral yesterday and obviously he's not talking to a Chiefs-based audience every day like we are, but his point to his staff who've been giving him a hard time about it, like you guys give me a hard time about it, is like, that's fine. You guys are going to miss them in the playoffs. The AFC playoffs will not be as exciting without the Chiefs in it this year.
I was just thinking about that, of like, it sunk in that the Chiefs are eliminated from the playoffs and that these next 3 games are just going to be so weird to watch. But like, my brain doesn't comprehend that there's just not going to be Chiefs football in January until we get to January. Like, what I mean?
Even if you're a Chiefs hater. So it's funny. I live in Chiefs Kingdom, have covered the team now for a very long time. But the majority of people that I talk to every day that don't live here hate the Chiefs. And that also, like, you're going to miss them when they're gone. Every playoff game is better that they're in. You can want them to lose that. It's no different than the Patriots. Tom Brady games were more exciting. Love them or hate them. Like, they just were. And so we won't have that this year. And this is what, but that was an aside. Eisen, I think it was Eisen yesterday that pointed out Mahomes has the most 10-yard touchdowns for the Chiefs like every year. Like 10 or more yard touchdown runs. Like they have just had no explosion in that running game for a very long time. And it could totally change the look of everything if they could find the way to do that. And the other thing about that is it seems like the fastest thing that they can do, like the thing that they can do with the least amount of effort and roster. Like you literally at that point, you have your offensive line. Hell, maybe you bring back Juju Smith-Schuster, who's a premier blocking wide receiver, like whatever. You really only need to drop one player in for that. And it happens to be a player that you don't have to spend that now premium draft resource on if you don't want to. So that's why that makes the most sense to me. But I'm telling you, like right now, to me, when you look at Jones a year older and age has clearly gotten to him, all the pass rushers they're going to lose, the secondary people, their defense has a chance to not be very good next year. And credit to them this year because it had a small chance to do that this year. They're probably not keeping McDuffie. They're like all these defensive linemen are going to be gone. Like it's going to be a total rebuild, and they better hope some of the players they took this year develop because they took a bunch of them. Man, that's my concern is, and to your point, the other reason you'd like to run the ball is to help out your defense. And they may need it next year. If the goal is to try to be competitive next year, then you've got to be able to run the ball.
It's interesting. Back to the running game, I had a thought here is the fact of where do you consider the Chiefs' offensive line? Like with the pieces they have when healthy, like it's
top half.
I mean, it's good.
Very good. Yeah.
Like Creed Humphrey is probably the best center in football.
In the conversation, yes.
Trey Smith is right there.
I mean,
and the rest are
highest paid. Yeah. And I think what we saw from Josh Simmons has a chance to be a top 10 left tackle.
That's the thing. Like we've talked about how much they've invested in this offensive line to get it to where they want it to be. Like, is it just a good pass rush offensive? Like we've never seen them play in that kind of way.
Smith and Creed Humphrey can move.
That's why you pay right guards, like
and maybe Kingsley Suamataia, who it's unfortunate that after the season he had last year, the season he's having this year hasn't been allowed to get the attention. But man, what a phenomenal bounce back for him. Like you feel fine about right tackle even when Jawan Taylor ultimately is going to be gone because he's too expensive. Their offensive line should be the strength of the offense next year. I don't know what that means as far as what their ultimate ceiling is, but it sucked this year. You had injuries. Almost everybody but Creed Humphrey, knock on wood, has been injured this year. And Josh Simmons stepped away from the team for a while. But the line should not be any concern next year, I don't think. We've got some viewer comments on it. We can continue the conversation. Did you catch any of that Monday Night Football there, TJ?
No.
We'll talk about the playoff implications of it and look around the NFL. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new local news live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
On KFH.
Sports Talk on KFH presented by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. We are making our way through here on a Tuesday. We are getting you through the latest with Mahomes. If you missed it there in the last hour, successful surgery. Looked like there was a little LCL to deal with. And the general consensus is around 9 months. Which would be right around the start of the regular season, maybe a little time missed. So the opportunity, Brett Veach, if you're listening, is still there to make everybody's dreams a reality and make Jameis Winston a Kansas City Chief this offseason. Can the league mandate that we get some – you might lose T Swift, you might lose, Taylor and Travis, So if we're looking for, the Chiefs to get Jameis Winston's your guy. Can you imagine the conversations between Jameis Winston and Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines in week 8? Man, got to make it happen. Got to make it happen. Still time. Austin asks us, by the way, you can get in touch with us a variety of ways. You can call us 869-1240. You can comment on our video streams, Facebook, YouTube, and X. The mute button sneeze is what you just the gap in time there. I don't TJ, I don't know if I'm getting old. I don't know what's going on. But for basic cold to linger now into week 4 for me has been something.
I just appreciate all the dramatic pauses this show has been
put me
granted for the next 2 months, for the last 2 months.
Put me down. Just take me out back and get it over with. All right. Austin asks us, what's our take on Chris Jones? What do you do with him? Well, I mean, he's under contract.
What is there to do?
It's a good question. He's under contract. I think I'm glad to hear, by the way. So against the Texans, that second half, I'm watching it and I keep thinking, and I can get hyperbolic. I understand that. But I'm like, this is the best Chris Jones has ever looked this half. This half of football, there cannot be a better half he's ever played. And apparently it was his highest graded performance ever, the second half of that game. So that made me feel good about that. But I think you got to understand, that's still there. But what we haven't been able to see is that all the time. And that's a product of getting older, I think. Chris Jones' colds probably last a week longer, too, now than they used to. It takes him longer to recover. He came up lame in that game, too. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it real easy with Chris Jones here. He's still, he is as impactful a defensive lineman, certainly as a defensive tackle, as we've ever seen, right? It just is, it's insane. It's insane that he played at the same time as Aaron Donald, or we will be having a very different conversation, I think, about Chris Jones historically. But he is one of the top 5 defensive tackles, in my opinion, that's ever played football. He's been unbelievable. He just can't capture that all the time. He needs help, right? And honestly, if you could get a pass rush in there to where he can't be double and triple teamed every play, he probably becomes a much better player too. So I think that he's got enough left in the tank that I'm totally good with Chris Jones. For, I don't know how much longer he wants to do this, but he's the question I think that poses the most out of this is Chris Jones at the end of his contract is going to be 35 or 36 years old, I think. 35 years old. And it's back in 2028, he's going to make $44.8 million. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. But everybody's always known that. He's known that. That's how these contracts go. I could see Chris Jones riding off into the sunset. I could see the Chiefs having to make a cut and him, giving it a year or two somewhere else just because he loves it. I mean, Kelsey's going to be Chiefs or die, unless he's got some Cleveland thing where he wants to go play for the Browns or something. Kelsey's Chiefs or die. Yeah. I don't know that that's totally the case with Chris Jones. I think it would be a great story if it was, but we'll see. I think he's got those knee braces on and he came up a little hobbled in this last one. And it's so hard because these guys have known nothing but winning their entire careers. It's Kelsey, not so much, but Jones and Mahomes and all these guys. So
I saw a stat this morning, by the way, sorry to interrupt here. The only player on the roster, I think that has ever missed the playoffs is Travis Kelce. I think that it might be him and James Winchester. I think are the only two.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. Winchester, by the way, is an unrestricted free agent. If you look at the daunting list that the Chiefs now have to face.
You got to bring him back.
Hey, don't you?
Yeah, he's Mr. Chief.
I know. That's what they all said about who's the old punter? Dustin Colquitt.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't bring Dustin Colquitt? What are we doing? What do we do? We had an old producer. Shout out to Hendo. That we gave him such a hard time because he was having a genuine panic attack that they were going to not have Dustin Colquitt. And we're like, listen, it's great. Everybody loves their guys. He's a punter, man. They'll be fine. So Austin, to answer your point, I think he looks fine. It's not going to be, young Chris Jones. He's going to be in bursts, still really good. And boy, they would sure help if he had some help on the defensive line, where it seems like he gets none every game. And we'll see about that George Karlaftis contract. This is what I feared. Karlaftis is, to me, like an average defensive end in this league. And he didn't get overpaid necessarily, but they invested a lot in him. And that's a contract they're going to need they'll have on the books for a while. They've got to have to draft the help on the defensive line that they need. They already have. What do they have? $60 million invested in Karlaftis and Chris Jones? You can't go fix that with free agency. You're going to have to draft some defensive linemen that can generate a pass rush.
Drafted a defensive end 2 years ago. Was out for the entire year this year.
Didn't work out. And they haven't been good at drafting pass rushers for the most part, depending on, Karlaftis and what you think of that. Elsewhere around the league. So we see Pittsburgh kind of flex on Miami that, Miami's done with Kansas City. So that AFC playoff picture that looked so wild and crazy 2 weeks ago is down now to two teams that aren't currently in having a chance to get in. Both of their best chances. Well, Baltimore's best chance will come through the division. And then Indianapolis has a variety of ways they could still do it with Phillip Rivers, if that's the case. But it's Phillip Rivers. They have the injuries. We've talked about how difficult their schedule is down the stretch. Probably the last thing to determine in the AFC is, will it be Baltimore? Will it be Pittsburgh? And they play again, I think. So that's, we've still got 3 weeks left, TJ. And if you go into the NFC, where Detroit kind of needs a miracle, Carolina's still battling it out with Tampa in the division. Dallas blew their chance and every chance they've had. We're kind of like there's not a lot of doors open with 3 weeks left in the season like there normally would be. Mm-hmm. It's sort of separated a little bit this year. And
the NFC is still pretty crazy, isn't it?
Not really. Detroit has an outside chance. They're 8-6. They got to make up 2.5 games, I believe, or a game and a half on Green Bay.
You're right. We might see a lot of eliminated football this year.
It's going to be tricky watches that last. I mean, there are things to determine as far as like seeding goes, that's sort of exciting, I guess. But it's kind of being determined. We may have like the last 2 weeks of the year where we normally have the last week of the year. So, but anyway. Brings up my bigger question. The Chiefs are out. This was yesterday. I heard this conversation a lot since Sunday, and I love it. If you're in Chiefs Kingdom, you want the Chiefs to win. If any team, whoever your team is, my team's out, the Cowboys. Who is the right team to root for here? Like, who should we be rooting for?
I don't know. I think about this too. Is like, I don't know how you are as a sports fan, and I think I tell people this all the time. Like, backstory, just to open the curtain here for everybody. Call me a homer if you want. I don't care. I grew up a KU fan, and like, the traditional KU, like, wouldn't touch the color purple, like all that stuff. Then I started covering the teams, and within a week of covering a K-State game, I was like, this is pretty cool too, And now, and I tell people this all the time whenever they call me a fan of anybody, like, I'm a fan of the teams I cover, like all 10 of them. Like
100%. We
root for the teams that we talk about because when they're good, our jobs get better. And that's what happens there. And now, like, I remember when the Giants beat the Royals in the World, like I blocked the Giants on social media. I hated Madison Bumgarner. I was I hated this team. And like, I talk to people all the time who are just like, I can't stand, like, my day gets better when the Chiefs lose, if you're a Chiefs hater, etc. Like, now that I do this, I'm like, what the hell are you guys? Just root for your team, and the rest is just the rest of the league. Like, I don't have any animosity about other teams. Are you the same way as me?
No. I hate the Eagles with a fiery passion.
Like,
I hate the 49ers with fiery passion.
Wow.
I would prefer that neither of those teams win. Everybody, I don't particularly like Green Bay, but that's rooted in as a kid being a Cowboys fan and kind of what you were just talking about, but not as much anymore. But yeah, I'd prefer that the Eagles or the 49ers didn't win a Super Bowl. That'd be nice. It'd be. I despise the Houston Astros. So yeah, no, I'm not that way. There are teams I dislike greatly. So I don't
think
know.
that my sports washing now has turned into the fact of like, whatever. If the Chiefs are out of, and if the Eagles win, I had a thing for the Eagles after some of the Eagles stuff. Like if the Eagles went and won a Super Bowl, like my brain would just go to like, man, that's pretty cool. They won back to back. Jalen Hurts won back to back Super Bowls. That's pretty nuts.
Absolutely.
Like no part of me is gonna be like, God, that sucks. Like,
Absolutely. By the way, TJ, nobody over the age of probably like 30 knows what sports washing is. So you're gonna have to explain to people what that is.
Sports washing?
Is that what you just said, or did you say
no?
watching?
I said watching.
Sports washing is sports washing, like
no, we're not getting political.
Gen Z term. I'm like, I don't know what that means, man.
That is a thing. That's a political term. I'm not gonna.
Is that something that I've probably said that's inappropriate? I've heard it, but I don't know what it is. Like we make up new words for things.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off the air. That's not a big deal.
All right. So I think that there is a correct group of teams to root for here. How do you not root for Buffalo?
It's true.
Like how are we not all?
They're such an interesting one because they've been a Chiefs rival in the terms of a rival, but everybody likes them.
Broncos, right?
But everybody likes them still. Whenever they play, all the fans are like, "Oh, it's Buffalo. That's cool." Yeah.
Yeah. Like we all like Buffalo. The Jim Kelly, like they almost got there, right? Like Buffalo. But Josh Allen's so awesome. And that fan base is so awesome. And, when it wasn't getting beat by the Cowboys, which, for 4 or 5 years might have been the best teams we've ever seen in a shorter amount of time. And then it's the Chiefs and Mahomes. And it's like, man, can we just get Buffalo one? Can we just get the Bills one? Chiefs fans won't agree with me on this one. I think the Chargers would be the other one for me that I'll probably pull for the most. My wife and in-laws are big Chargers people. So that's another fan base that has just been kicked in the junk time after time after time. Really great teams, never good enough. Finally got there one year and got housed by the 49ers, got their team pulled from them and moved to LA. Like, I think that would be a good one. I'm also a big Justin Herbert fan. I mean, we've got an Aaron Rodgers story to follow here.
I'm at the point, I think, Jacob, to give you my answer, is that of the AFC teams that will be in the playoffs, or even the teams that are still have a chance to get in the playoffs, as long as it's anybody but Denver or New England, it'll be a good story.
See, I think New England is a good story.
It's a good story, but it's not as feel good as the other stories, I think.
No, probably not. But man, Vrabel's return there after being so stupidly cast aside in Tennessee.
And everybody likes Drake May.
And everybody likes Drake May. You're correct, I think, on that. Nobody wants to see Denver do it. I don't think people like Sean Payton. Nobody wants to buy into Bo Nix. Like Denver's kind of turning into the bad guy to me. Especially around here, obviously.
I need to see if it's not going to be the Chiefs. Like I just need to see a World Series type of matchup that was the Diamondbacks versus the Rangers. Like that's what I need this one to look like. Like Arizona's in the World Series.
So if you want that outcome, you're probably gonna need like a Bears versus Jaguars. God, I think to get that sort of and that's not gonna happen. But like that's what you would have to. I think the Bears are a great story. There are some good ones. Houston behind that defense, could they do something special? It sucks that the Chiefs aren't in it, right? Because it's just a little more interesting that way. Can Lamar somehow sneak the Ravens through and do the thing in the postseason that he's never done? I think there are clear teams to root for, and there are clear teams to root against here. The Broncos, the Eagles, the Niners, the Packers, absolutely not. Don't want any part of it. I don't want to root for the Steelers, but I'm kind of in on 45-year-old Rodgers throwing the bird. It's kind of cool.
Mike Tomlin, you just got to root for Mike Tomlin.
I know. I just don't like the Steelers as a rule, but this is kind of a cool, and I love Mike Tomlin, and I don't love Aaron Rodgers. Please don't misunderstand. But the fact that they're doing it, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm a little in on that.
No.
Obviously, Rivers. Could we get Phillip Rivers? Can we get the Colts in the playoffs? And can the planets align and we see Phillip Rivers go to Pittsburgh and Rodgers and Rivers play in the first round? I think that's possible.
Is he going to keep starting? Do we know?
Yeah, he's starting this week.
Is he really?
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Unless something's changed in the last 24 hours. The expectation was for him to start again. He didn't look bad. He looked fine.
He looked bad, but at what point do you say, hey, we got a 23-year-old, we can just develop him?
But I think the Bills, like Bills-Bears is probably your storybook.
Bills-Bears would be awesome.
Bills-Bears would probably be the storybook.
As long as it's not the Broncos, the Patriots, the Rams, or the Eagles.
You'd have a problem with the Rams? Else. I don't have a problem with the Rams.
I like the Rams. But they just won one more recently than everybody else.
They have, and so has Tampa. I don't have a problem with Tampa either because Baker Mayfield now.
That's what
Mayfield would be a great
one.
Story. I don't know that they're, to me, is like this heavy favorite either. I think it's the Rams, but Devontae Adams is now dealing with a hamstring injury. Is it the Rams if Devontae Adams isn't there? He leads the league in touchdowns this year. Stafford gets down in the red zone. It's like, where's Adams? I'm just going to throw to him. Right. So this is a postseason I can get behind, but it'll be weird. Not as somebody who's covered the Chiefs, like just as a fan of football, to not have that clear and concise for the rest of the country public enemy number one.
No.
It was the Patriots, and then it was the Chiefs, and it was pretty seamless. There's always been the love them or hate them team in there. I don't know that they're in there this year.
I agree. I'm telling you, my brain, this is such an interesting conversation because my brain has just been so conditioned to think of the fact of like, Chiefs are going to win out and they'll find a way in and they'll be fine. Like they'll be in there and they'll upset a couple people and make a run. Like it's just what we're going to do. I can't make any plans in January because we're going to be doing this. Like my brain isn't ready to watch these games and not have the Chiefs in them.
Look, nobody's is. We haven't done it in a long time. And I'm with Eisen, who follows us every day. I think the haters are going to miss them, whether they want to admit it or not. Because
if your team is going to win in advance, you want to beat the Chiefs, not the Jaguars.
I hated the Lakers, the Kobe Bryant Lakers, but a part of that was just because it was fun to root against them in the playoffs every year. All right, we're coming right back. More Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story, clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. To here on Sports Daily. We're going to bring you a little baseball talk here to finish things out. It's all been What's on Tap, brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company, now pouring the brand new seasonal Bach Lager. Bach, yeah, a cold beer that'll give you a warm feeling. Bach Lager available at all 3 WBC brew pubs, east near Central and Woodlawn, west at 13th and Tyler, and in historic Delano at Handley. Wichita Brewing Company, where groups gather for the holiday season. All right, TJ, we didn't get a chance to get to this yesterday, but over the weekend, the Royals made a pretty significant trade. You guys were giving me a hard time. It's right in the middle of KU going to overtime and everything in the world. But I'm like, hey, the Royals just kind of made an interesting trade. I think you guys thought it was because of Zerpa. It wasn't because of Zerpa, because I've had some issues with Zerpa over the years. In the way that he's been utilized. It had nothing to do with Zerpa. That's who the Royals traded away. It's who they got back for just Zerpa. They got Isaac Collins, who, look, that's not a name that probably moves a lot of needles for most baseball fans, but he's a pretty good player. There was a time last year where he was legitimately in the running for Rookie of the Year. Now, he's a 28-year-old rookie, right? More likely is a utility type player for the Royals. But then they also get Nick Mears, who profiles about the same as Angel Zerpa out of the bullpen. I believe he's a righty, though. Either way, the Royals fill kind of a need here. I hope that the answer for them in left field is not a platoon of Lane Thomas and Isaac Collins, but it certainly could be. Collins, though, played some second base last year. He played some third base last year. We saw them tidy up Michael Garcia. That's another story we haven't really followed here yet. These things have been happening over the weekend and at the winter meetings, and we've had these nuclear bombs dropped on us. But they extend Michael Garcia, which I was really glad to see. So they're kind of tidying things up so far this offseason. But that one big move that I don't know that they've still made, unless it's this Collins trade.
I think they'll still make another move. But Collins is a guy that I think could be an everyday player for sure.
I think he could be. I think Lane Thomas could be too. Like those are high upside players.
Lane Thomas is an interesting one because which is not what the conversation we're having here is, but side note is that he has had some success and had a kind of a breakout year and then didn't pan out last year. And he got a contract then didn't pan out. Now he's here. They got him cheap. And, you hope you can rebuild him into something that can be a guy that can, platoon in or even be somebody that could be that good. But Isaac Collins is a guy that, as you said, he was a chance he could get the Rookie of the Year last year. Like, if he can find a way to sustain that, you're not going to get a ton of them, and that's why they got him for Angel Zerpa. But, if you can get a couple of years of that kind of production out of him to put in left field, that's huge. I think that they will go get somebody. But now my brain goes to the fact of, maybe it doesn't need to be, an outfielder. It can be somebody else if you can find a spot for him, obviously. But it doesn't feel like there's such a gaping hole in the outfield anymore.
Well, you're most likely going to have, you're going to have Garcia at third. You're going to have Bobby Witt Jr. at short. You're going to have Vinny Pasquantino at first.
The hole is basically outfield or second base or DH, basically.
Right. And that's so Collins can do all of that. I don't know how much now I would even say there's a hole at DH because they made their decision to call up one of the young catchers and Salvador Perez is there. So I don't even know that there's a hole at DH now. You basically have left field and second base, and to have as many guys as you can that can kind of do both is probably not a bad thing. We know the Royals and JJ Piccolo like to have that flexibility, right? We've seen it for too long now. We know they want it. And probably some center field too. I think Lane Thomas can play some center field if he needed to. But you hope Jack Caglione is just your right fielder. And, at maybe someday he can be a first baseman, but that's not what he's going to do right now. He needs to be a right fielder. He needs to spend his entire spring being the best right fielder he can be. Use a good arm out there, which is a good thing to have. And
I don't care if he's the worst fielding right fielder in baseball.
I don't either.
He hit 40 bombs. That is great. He could make the ball. He could make 100 errors.
And have a strong throwing arm, which he does.
He could make an error every other game, and I would be tickled if he could hit a home run in every other game too.
That's right. I agree. So now the question becomes: they have the depth that you would want there. That's all in place. Does it have enough pop? Are we comfortable enough? Are the Royals comfortable enough to? And they still have Jonathan India too, right?
Yep. They avoided arbitration with him.
So you're looking at is it enough in the offense? And I think that they could walk into next season with the roster in place, and you could say, okay,
they feel maybe significantly better than they were last year.
Oh, I don't think that. I don't. I mean, you're counting on really to say that is that they're healthier, which could help, right? Cole Reagans is healthier, but that Jack Caglione takes that next step. And to me, we've still got to see that happen.
I guess that's the big question mark, but they have patched the holes they patched a hole. They didn't, make the hole better, but they patch the hole. If Collins can be something of that nature, if those guys can platoon and fill left field, you could maybe upgrade at center field a little bit, but they like Kyle Isbell a lot. But like if they didn't make another move, they could roll this out and it should be a playoff team. I don't know if they went and made a move and got Ketel Marte, was a name that keeps getting floated out for some reason, or even Jaron Duran or somebody else to help out in a big way. Like then it's a team that's like this team should probably win the Central, mate. Like, I don't know
right now. Yeah. And it's especially if the Tigers trade Tarek Scoop.
Exactly.
Right now, the Royals are picked, third. If you're looking at World Series odds, the Guardians are 30-1, the Tigers are 30-1, and then the Royals are 40-1. So right now, like the odds makers are telling us, we don't know what's going on in the Central, but the Royals at 40-1 right now, before they potentially make that trade
to win the Central,
pretty good spot. No, to win the World Series. God,
I was going to say, good Lord.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, like with the starting pitching that they have and an evolution of Jack Caglione, I'm not saying it's likely. It's obviously not likely. But if you're going to get in on the Royals, you probably want to do it now, because if any of those trades that you're talking about happen, if they do the thing that we've all kind of thought they should, those odds will skyrocket.
Yeah.
If they brought in Ketel Marte today, those odds are going to skyrocket.
I mean,
right?
that feels like that's a dark horse team with Ketel Marte. Like if they can pitch, if they can pitch the way that they've pitched, that's a good team.
They're a dark horse team anyway, right? They're a dark horse team because they have so much pitching depth that it sort of lessens the risk of injury, right? Like if they decided, you know what, we just kind of want the pitching depth, then you're raising your floor up by doing that, because you're like last year, if they didn't have it, they'd have been toast. But they had all the injuries and they were able to sustain it for most of the season. It's really, to me, it's the Cags factor. There isn't a player out there, even Ketel Marte, that potentially raises up the ceiling of this team more than him taking the next step of his career if it happens. That's the most impactful thing that can happen for the Royals. That and Cole Higgins being back fully healthy.
The Cags case study is just so interesting because, like, if you look at the stats, what saying is scorecard doesn't have pictures and everything like that. If you looked at the stats, you'd say, yeah, it's kind of a disappointment season for him. But then for us that have watched, I mean, we watched the majority, if not every single game of him since he got called up. Like, he hit the absolute piss out of the ball. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just baseball, and it sucks.
He was unlucky. You're right.
But he's unlucky, and like you hate to say that because baseball's the game where you don't want to sit here and say, "Well, it's just bad fortune." But like I had never seen anybody happen to them as much as it happened to Jack Caglione last year for months. Like he was he was lining out with 111 mile an hour exit velos. Like if you can just continue that and get the fortune swinging back your way, like he'll be fine. Like that's what I think about the Caglione situation.
I do too, but he's got to stop, he's got to fix some things too. I think he's going to be better. At minimum, he's going to be at least a little bit better, right? Like just for the luck factor. So I think that the move to make is still to bring in another big bat. Like, why be satisfied? Why not go try to be one of the best offenses in baseball? Why not have an offense start with Garcia and Witt and Vinny and Salvi and Cags and insert name here? Why not?
I agree.
That's the thing. We keep thinking of them as this team led by starting pitching, and they will be. They could easily be a team led by offense. But for 2 years now, when we're having this conversation with the Chiefs, how many times do you run it back? For 2 years now, this offensive has left way too much meat on the bone. So even if Cags does come up, does that make them a more clutch team? Or, yeah, if Ketel Marte is really available and you have all this depth in the starting rotation, you have the catching depth that they have, go get Ketel Marte. He's not expensive related to his peers, and he's signed up for forever.
The Royals offense is so interesting because, like, I agree, like, the offense wasn't good last year. But the thing is that they had Michael Garcia, who is a top 10 average hitter in baseball, Bobby Witt Jr., who was the hits king in baseball, Salvi, who went on a power surge halfway through the season, and like they've got so many, like they all like are good hitters and they put together good averages, but they were just so bad at scoring runs. Like, and that's baseball. I understand that, but like, you can't change it. Like, you can't ask them to do better than that. You know what I mean? Like, they just have to score the runners in scoring position.
It's 2 years of that now, too, by the way.
I know.
Marte does not have the Royals on his no trade. He has a no trade, and there are teams on there. It is not the Royals. You know what he reminds me of? And I'll tell you this as a Rangers fan. Royals fans may not be like in on him. He reminds me of Adrian Beltre. When the Rangers went and got Adrian Beltre, I'm like, yeah, he's a good player, but like he's been around forever. He's kind of older. The Rangers signed him in his age 32 season, and he was an MVP candidate almost every year. And became my favorite baseball player ever. But it's because like he brought the energy, and like that's kind of how Marte profiles right now. He's going into his age 32 season. He's undervalued across baseball. He has been tremendous the last 3 years. Unbelievable.
He was an MVP candidate 3 years ago, right?
So, well, I mean, he's been one of the best players in baseball for 3 years. He was third in MVP voting 2 years ago. Had he not been hurt last year, he does have a little bit of an injury history, which makes you nervous, but his contract's not out of control, and it is in the range that the Royals could probably make work. It's just you have to factor in his contract with getting Vinny Pasquantino signed up, but you have Jack Caglione. Like, I think it makes a lot of sense if he's actually available. I don't know how available he actually is. I don't know why the Diamondbacks would trade him.
In a 2 week span. In a 2 week span, we've seen Chris Kleiman retire, Colin Klein get hired, Patrick Mahomes blow out his ACL, the Chiefs miss the playoffs. Let's add one more, and the Royals go make a big move.
Go trade for Shohei Ohtani. That'd fit
in a
couple of weeks. All right, we'll come right back. We got a little more Sports Daily. Don't go away.